Oh, hello there, Site42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 10.5 months and counting, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I am here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different, multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 60 to 90 minutes, depending on stream energy today. But before I begin today's general Q&A, as well as stream subject, let me handle a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Dr. Optimus, congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Furthermore, Stephen Tambari, Woscom, Sheeny, Valerie, Fields, Ravehaven, Amber, Leuna, Philip November. Everyone who I have just spoken to, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site42 here on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the combat expertise and strategies that you help us bring to win the battle against the White Names. Thank you very much. Furthermore, interns Starlight, David Mata, Dexter Morgan, Seajaw, and Dominic, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Also, a special shout out to an intern, Brian Hudson. You see, intern Brian Hudson sent me a particular comment on a video today that stood out to me. I've been crying since I found my old rabbit photo. She passed due to old age when I was 6, 14, almost 15 years old now, and you make me laugh so much. Not gonna lie, I love learning about the SCPs and sometimes fall asleep to your shorts and videos, so thanks for making me happy. Well, intern Brian Hudson, I am happy to do what I can to improve the mood of those SCP Foundation cadets who tune in, staff members, cadets, all alike. So what I'd like you to do today, if this would make you in a better mood, is to go to the Anomalous items locker in the G-Wing, and I would like you to procure 1 bottle of SCP-3802, known as Hair Growth by Dedo. I would then like you to requisition 1 D-Class, not from the adult shift though. I want you to get one of the child D-Classes, the war orphans, or as we call them, Warfins. And I would like you to utilize SCP-3802 in combination with this Warfin D-Class in order to procure yourself a happy amount of hairs. enjoy your day. And thank you for commenting. Stephen Tambari, how did you get a bingo when I'm not even done with my intro? This is concerning. Your bingo game chat might have gotten a little too easy. I'm just saying. Furthermore, reminder that we have some sponsors here at Site 42. First sponsor of the day is ourselves. Welcome to the scpstore.org, where we have a cadre of Site 42 merchandise. The Where Were Dragons shirt and mug. The Researchers Only Want One Thing and It's Disgusting shirt. The Reservoir Docs. The Foundation Fitness Initiative. Get yourself the Site 42 merch of your dreams at the Site 42 support link, beacons.ai/Site42. Thank you for your service. I'ma need that Sherm plush. Well, Sheeny, while I do not know why James, who runs the website, still has that there because it is out of print, we only did one run of that plushie. We are at the 1 year anniversary doing a second series. So maybe it's there because we know it's coming back. I'm not sure. But set your clocks. April 14th, we'll have an announcement about that. All right. Furthermore, reminder that these are not paid sponsors. These are, in fact, or us sponsoring ourselves. This is us giving our time to SCP projects that are currently happening. So reminder that we have SCP Eye of the Beholder Season 1, an original audio narrative podcast based in the SCP Foundation universe. The episode 1 is available on all podcasting platforms, and it is pretty solid. I want to hear what the rest of they got to say, and so we need to get this Kickstarter up and running. Remember, do not sleep on the small projects. Supporting small creators is how we get them to be bigger creators. And of course, we also have SCP Galleonic, which is getting all sorts of attention from Kickstarter, from the internet, including an upcoming interview with Affray Interactive, creators of SCP-5K. So Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, on the Affray Interactive YouTube channel, it will be visible. Although, if you want to do Q&A, you are much better off going to the Affray Interactive Discord server. That is when I found when I partnered with Affray. You may want to do the same. But an interview with SOM Studios and Affray Interactive will be this Saturday. And reminder, they'll be on YouTube with us Monday. So you're getting a lot of information from these guys. Think of some good questions, people. The nice thing about the SCP Foundation is that we have, as a creative community, a lot of access to our creators. You know, in some cases that also turns out pretty worrying. I'm seeing what's happening with the Amazing Digital Circus fandom right now. It's a little scary. So just remember, our creators are our friends, and not in a parasocial way, just in a be nice to them, give them head pats so they keep making stuff. Don't make it weird, is what I'm saying. Okay. So, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, let me get the donations that have come in during my intro, then we'll get to the stream subject. Feels, thank you for your 10 months as a level 1 researcher, and I did see you say something about, oh no, I accidentally sent my member message without the message. So if you get that to Desk will tell me what you said, but either way, we appreciate your membership and your service. Leuna, thank you for your 7-month member message. We appreciate your membership and service as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. Hey Doc, any anomalies to help with sleep? You saw nothing. Well, we know the opposite of that. The sleep killers will make it so you never sleep again, which is not ideal. SCP that make you the sleep. Do we have an SCP that makes you sleep instead of SCPs that do not make you sleep? SCP-576, codename Sleep Well. SCP-576 is a rounded glass bottle with a cork stopper measuring approximately 6 centimeters in diameter. It is filled with a clear liquid designated as the -1. Lab analysis has revealed the chemical composition to be identical to that of 0.0100 m fructose and water solution. It only retains its effects while within 576, as samples consumed from vessels other than 576 result in no anomalous effects. So if you drink this fructose water from this particular bottle that self-replenishes at 2 milliliters per week, whenever the individual sleeps after consuming it, they will experience vivid dreams. Dreams caused by -1 substance are reported to be based on memories significant to the individual. Individuals used in 576 testing report a correlation between the quantity of a fluid consumed and the relative realism of the resulting dreams. When an individual enters a 576-1 affected sleep, they'll pass through natural stages of sleep, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and remain in a peaceful, constant state of REM sleep for a period lasting from 8 to 20 hours. Attempts to awaken individuals in the state before they awaken on their own have proven unsuccessful. The undisturbed sleep caused by this is consistent in all subjects, regardless of any pre-existing or history of sleep disorders. So if that works, a document was found with this. Item number, batch number redacted. Take some time to clear your mind. Bring back what's been left behind. 1 sip and your woes are freed. 1 good night's sleep guaranteed. Thank you for your patronage. Sweet dreams from Marshall, Carter, and Dark Limited. So, there's one. There's one. I'm sure there are others as well. If you go to the 576, there is a tag for sleep. Now, the sleep tag encompasses 257 pages on the database. I'm sure at least one of those other ones will help you get to sleep. Drowsy, thank you for your 9 months as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. What should I cook/bake? Let's see. I think you should cook/bake some lemon bars. Who doesn't like a lemon bar? A nice sweet and sour combination. Lemon bars. Charlie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a croquette on your way past the commissary. And let me interrupt you because there's another Charlie present. Bring the child. The child hath arrived. This is also a stealth sponsorship for the Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt. I went to the gym since it is no longer trapped in the LACKROOMS. Fightmaster Rainer beat the living tar out of me today. My arms hurt, which is why I am not holding Agent Charlie. I could not lift this much today. It's a good pain, but it is pain. Very sweetie pumpkin. And she does have darling pajamas. Yes, that is true. Very fashionable doggo.
No treat?
I do happen to have treats.
Treat.
Yes, certain babies are allowed to have certain treats. What a satisfying crunch you have. Quite the crunch. Give it up for Agent Goose and Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. So where were we? Charlie, your donation said, would SCP-3073 stage face activate SCP-096? Would SCP-3073 stage face activate? All right, I'm not quite sure grammatically what you mean. Sometimes the keyboard for YouTube Super Chats makes things a little difficult to type. So stage face is just the name. Okay, good. So that wasn't the keyboard's fault. 3073 is a male of European descent with long red hair and attire that is similar to that of most modern-day orchestra conductors. Where its face should be, 3073 instead has a miniature theatrical stage. At most times of the day, the stage is completely hidden by its hair, which acts as stage curtain. It is fully capable of speech and has demonstrated that it can see despite its lack of a mouth and eyes. There's your answer. Because it can see 096's face, it can get got. You're welcome. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a deviled egg on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, did you see Ice Barbie got fired today? I did, in fact, and I had myself a hearty guffaw, although I can't ever be too confident about what SCP-5004-B will pull next. So I had a hearty chuckle and that little bit of stress whiskey to think, okay, what's coming next? Can you talk about the floating hand spider? Intern Olmedo, what do you want to know about the floating hand spider? There's not much to say. It is still running around the hallways. I believe it was last spotted in the south wing. Remember, if you are walking through the south wing, bring an amethyst or your face is forfeit. 100 stars. Thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. And I saw some Ko-Fi notifications. Let me make sure I do not miss those. Aflac, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. And thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, has only a 3% fee on your donations, whereas YouTube takes 30% of your donation. So when you make the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, we appreciate it greatly. Grab yourself a nice chocolate chip muffin on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation contain that spinning cat? You know, the one that goes, oya, oya. Is that right? Oya, oya? Spinning cat? I might not be familiar with this anomaly. I'm going to try and find what you are talking about. All right, there is some sort of anomaly here. I see. Let's turn off our ambiance and fear what's about to happen. Oh. Oh my. I see. I see, and I worry. Well, is it sort of actually bread loaf shaped while it's spinning? If it's both cat and bread, that has a lot of implications. I would want to get an iteration of SCP-3305, codename Bread Jesus, to see if we can get any information on this cat loaf of bread moving through the stratosphere. Much like a certain engineer Iplier did a few years ago. The time stream was fucked up 4 months after that. Well, since it is going through wormholes, yes, the only thing we can do is interrogate an iteration of 3305. Now, as a reminder, if we want to question an iteration of Bread Jesus, then we need a crew of SCP Foundation staff to enact the ritual of summoning for SCP-3305, codenamed Bread Jesus, and that does require the sacrifice of a virgin. So please start going through the D-Class rules and see if you can find a D-Class virgin to be sacrificed to summon Bread Jesus. And, dear Ward, this is a bit late, I didn't know. Seizure warning, I hope everyone is okay out there. That was a lot. Now, the other Ko-Fi donation. Sheeny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a jellied donut on your way past the commissary. How are we on the lack room situation? I had some fires to put out async and missed the last stream or so. Well, what a perfect time and transition to the mainstream subject. Heat Flamesman. I'm going to get to your donation soon, but that's just too good a transition to pass up. So, in case you missed yesterday or the last couple of days, a quick recap of our current status here at Site 42. Several days ago, a device known as the Liminalator was discovered. Now, based on its name and some of the functionalities we were able to figure out mechanically before we activated the anomaly, we had hypothesized that the Liminalator was an innator of the sort of stereotypical Doofenshmirtz make, and that liminality was what it was innating, meaning it would make spaces more liminal. So we found a nice safe spot in a corner of Site 42 where that wouldn't be a problem for it to grow new hallways and the like, similar to the effects of SCP-184. But our hypothesis proved 180 degrees in the wrong direction. It was actually, the device, a liminal eliminator. An eliminator of liminality, an elimination of liminal spaces, the spaces that are the in-between spaces between where you are and where you're going. Well, that means that it created a lack of rooms, because every space that you were in or that was adjacent became one big room. And since all of our badass scientists and staff members and anomalies were present in that wing, it became one big room full of bad bitches, which was a very dangerous proposal. Now, furthermore, we discovered that activating Scranton Reality Anchors on the outskirts of this LACKROOMS anomaly caused it to expand, encompassing the area of effect of those Scranton Reality Anchors. We are still not exactly certain why they did not regulate the LACKROOMS, but instead caused them to expand, and what that has to say for the Hume balance and reality of the LACKROOMS. But the last-ditch effort, with most of the site's main campus being shoved into one big room known as the LACKROOMS, a combination of quick thinking from myself, I guess Dr. Frogman tells me. It's been a very busy week. Some amnestics were necessary to take down the stress. As well as Dr. Frogman acquiring SCP-008-J, codename Jeff, were able to enter the LACKROOMS using one of our last remaining Scranton Reality Anchors. And as Jeff's anomaly, as far as we can tell, is that it is unable to be captured, meaning if someone within the LACKROOMS tried to arrest and contain Jeff, then probability would bend around the Jeff entity in a manner that would cause the LACKROOMS to be deactivated, and therefore let Jeff escape. And seeing from the outside, I guess that's correct, because all of you are no longer in the LACKROOMS. But you see, I wasn't in there. I couldn't see what happened. And so yesterday, we started writing a after-action report of what happened within the LACKROOMS at the end there that caused the Liminalator to be deactivated. Now, I have been informed that the Liminalator is in working order. It was not destroyed. It was simply switched off. But I've only got a partial story of what's happened here from staff who were present, including but not limited to Dr. Frogman, Senior Researcher Blue, Sprite, Doctors Sprite and Froy, Dr. Life, Philip November went ham in the LAC rooms. Intern Dax was there, 035 was present, 049 still has not been found, and Charger was present. So, I've got a lot of information, but we're not done with the situational report. I'll give you what I have so far, and I need you guys to fill in the gaps for me. So, here is our current document of the after action report. A. Dr. Frogman activates a nearby Scranton reality anchor, which causes the LAC rooms to expand to encompass Dr. Frogman and SCP-008-J, codenamed Jeff. Senior Researcher Blue guided cadets to a safe corner of the LAC rooms. That just seems to be something that was happening at the time. Doctors Sprite and Froy threw objects to disperse anomalies, then looked for SCP-049. So I'm not sure what objects they could have thrown and what anomalies they were dispersing, but apparently it worked. But they did not find 049 to my knowledge yet. Dr. Life tended to wounded and warded off D-Class, whatever that means, with an appropriated, well, that's what it means, with an appropriated stationary task force pistol. And so protected the wounded from some D-Class who were on the attack. It was expected that when the D-Class were let into that one big room, they would proceed to be bad bitches and start some sort of riot. So it's a good thing Dr. Life was there to stop them. Furthermore, Philip November, sauced on the good SCP-420-J, did a sick-ass kickflip spiral ride, dispensing radical justice upon the SCP-008-1 entities. Those are infectees of the zombie virus, SCP-008. Agent Philip November utilized the bucket, an anomalous talking bucket that is, in fact, quite spiteful sometimes. A researcher, Stanley, gave us a lot of intelligence on this anomaly. The bucket to be both angry as well as jealous of Philip November's genius strategy, and therefore made it its mission to besearch Philip November after the fact. Furthermore, Philip November utilized Agent Charger as a baseball bat at one point, beheading a subject wearing SCP-035 due to 035's acid weakening the neck of the subject. Charger then regained their own ability to move, no longer being wielded as a bat, and utilized dark magic in conjunction with Philip November's radical powers. The 035 head, airborne, collided with a mobile task force agent attempting to contain SCP-008-J. Boing. The agent's weapon misfired at this point, and this misfired bullet struck an altered Scranton reality anchor, causing a flash of rainbow light at one point. This intern Dax was working with the Liminalator and a altered Scranton reality anchor. This intern Dax is an anomalous tinkerer and happened to utilize an SRA to restore some liminality, but not enough liminality to escape the LAC rooms, which is in part where the rainbows came from. I don't know. I'm still working this out. But so far, that is what we've got for information, and I still require more. It's a lot. Intern Die, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Heats Flamesman, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member, grab yourself a nice slice of hickory on your way past the commissary. Here, Dr. Sherman, take this cigar. Well, not on stream. I have to utilize my voice, so we don't want that right now, but maybe at the end of shift. Rave Haven, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a lemon meringue pie on your way past the commissary. Dr. Gerald parked a car on your car, Director. Is this something that took place within the LACKROOMS? Because part of the parking lot was within there for a time. Hence the little bit of a demolition derby I've heard some people talking about. Glad you had fun. Those were your co-workers' cars. Irresponsible. But was this during the containment breach, or was this afterwards? Noxious 40, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a sweet cupping cake on your way past the commissary. What do you think about the new Confinement teaser? The new Confinement I am not fully informed of because I don't know who perhaps is making it. There's apparently this someone named Muckwile. I do not know whomst they are. The only rumors I've heard about this is that they have gotten permission from the original creators of Confinement, Lord Bung and Orion, perhaps, but that they will not be involved in the situation. Now, as to since I don't know this team yet, I don't like to go full endorsement. I want to be sure of what's going on, but at least what I've seen of their teaser, it certainly seems like the animation style is quite similar. I was wondering how the art style might evolve due to, the original singular creator being gone. But this does look somewhat like Confinement. So at least animation style-wise, it looks familiar to me. Perhaps this will turn out well, perhaps it won't. Fingers crossed. I find it to be a little worrying to be picking up someone else's project. I mean, this is the SCP Foundation community where we have Creative Commons, so it's not like it's illegal to pick up someone else's project. I just personally have nerves about all the drama that went down with Confinement, trying to link myself to that name again. But perhaps they'll nail it. Who knows? People have been wanting Confinement back, so maybe this will go well. I'm not ruling out anything yet. But I found that by looking up SCP Confinement Muckwile. So if you want to look into that, that's what you can look up. All right, I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me get that before I forget it exists. Sheeny, thank you for donating through the Ko-Fi again to say, can y'all send me the Liminalator when you're done with the reports, of course. I think it'll be a game changer in my research. Well, I do want to be a little careful here because, Tech, who is it here? Where'd you go? The director of Tech Advancement Site 34 is already asking to come in on research on the Liminalator. Now, I don't want Site 34 bogarting jurisdiction of this anomaly. Containment breach or not, it's still ours to research. Furthermore, I just want to make sure you're not going to get this involved with async and the backroom side of things. We got to be very careful about that, because if async gets eyes on this, I don't know how it's going to interact with something as large as the backrooms, and I don't know if async is responsible enough not to do something stupid with it. So, I'm a little cautious. If your research can be done on Site 42 premises, I'd be a lot more keen for that sort of situation. Heats Flamesman, thank you for donating again to say, I don't know why the camera worked. And I checked the footage. Apparently, the only reason why I wasn't sucked in was Dr. Kleiner opening the door to slap me and me running over to the commissary to get oil. But the commissary was inside the LACKROOMS yesterday. It sounds like you ended up off-site, maybe? Maybe in some mirror dimension? And if the mirror dimension was not affected by the LACKROOMS, that gives an interesting perspective for activating the Liminalator, which makes everything in the surrounding area into one big room, but then going into the mirror dimension, which is unrestricted by the Liminalator, meaning you could still access the inverse of the world from that side, even though it's all been sucked into one room on the other side. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to say that the reversal of the LACKROOMS was not instantaneous. In fact, there was a break at 40% liminality when 682 escaped the facility when Charger was thrown into the wall like baseball. Was Charger thrown in the wall? I thought Charger was the baseball bat. I thought 035 and the head attached to it were the baseball in this set. And of course, the LACKROOMS didn't show down entirely. That sort of spatial anomaly does take time to dissipate. For certain, for certain. Civil Protections Heats Flamesman, thank you for donating again to say. Maybe the mirror changed it to be that the area that was sucked in became not sucked in, and the areas that were become weren't. Really damn strange. If that were the case, then my alternate on the mirror dimension side would have been sucked into the LACKROOMS basically alone, which could be very, very distressing. I'll have to talk to that one later on. Noxious 40, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Welcome to the Green Name Corps. I look forward to you helping us win the battle against the White Names. Lanny the Demon Angel. Someone nearly ran me over with a car in the LACKROOMS, and as I was throwing things into the LACKROOMS, scared the shit out of me. I just wanted to throw things at the wall and watch them disappear. Well, I mean, your first disappointment is that there's nowhere for them to disappear because, well, wait a minute. Because of the lack of liminality, the exterior walls of the LACKROOMS they don't lead anywhere. Now, at first my hypothesis, especially because that's how it worked out here, is that things bounced off of the walls and came back. But it's wholly possible that inside the LACKROOMS, the spatial anomaly worked that it was one room with transparent walls that caused you to go through and loop to the other side because it's one room without exits. Fascinating. So they weren't so much disappearing from your vision, they were just going to, they were disappearing from your vision because they were going through the invisible barrier to the other side of the LACKROOMS. Interesting. Sheeny, thank you for donating through the Ko-Fi again to say. Now I have to access the threshold to do the test I want to do, but also got adept at hiding things from async, of course. However, the call is yours. I feel this machine may be our best chance at containing the backrooms. Well, I do want to contain the backrooms. Give me some time. As we continue research on the Liminalator, I am hoping that we will be able to utilize it and able to create a Liminalator device that can be activated from the outside and thereby contain entities in a room with no entrance or exit. It would be a very useful form of liminal containment procedures. We'll call them LCPs eventually. I coined that, remember? Now, if we can get one to be portable, that is when I would approve bringing one near async, because then you'd be able to just carry it in a nondescript suitcase, so to speak. Yes, we'll work toward this goal, because I do want to see the backrooms contained. It'd be very nice if that were to be the case. Dr. Sherman, I haven't been here for a month or two now. You're looking a lot better than the last time I saw you. Well, thank you, Junior Researcher HLG. I'm not sure what it is that you are seeing, but I'm happy to be on an upswing. I have completed 5 or 6 weeks of the Foundation Fitness Initiative, trying to get back in fighting shape, running shape, and so maybe there's a slight shift in body composition. Maybe there's a slight glow to the having get to exercise side of things. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Intern Tenna, it is TV time if you are watching the stream on your television set. Yes. You were a bit bigger the last time I saw you, and you're looking thinner. Not that thinness needs to be the goal to fitness. For everybody's body composition, their healthy weight is different for different people. But mine is definitely not the weight I have put on after not being able to exercise due to injury. So for me, getting skinnier is good. Doesn't mean it's for all people, but for me, that is improvement, and I appreciate you pointing that out. Why is he wearing blush on? Intern Yutuk, that is not blush. I have just very thin Irish-Italian skin, and I blush like a tomato at the slightest emotional provocation. When I merged with myself, a bunch of D-boys saw and got scared. And I think one of my sock puppet hands bit one of them, but my memory is kind of fuzzy. I wonder what that... So yes, obviously D-Class are simple-minded and easily frightened. They are also put up against a whole lot of bullshit, so we need to wrangle them as we can, and if they were in an unsupervised position, that would cause a little bit of a panic, I'm sure. Perhaps they would be afraid that they would get sucked into you along with the other U's, because they are not smart enough to know better that those were all different U's. Does the Foundation provide shorter working periods for researchers participating in Ramadan? Newly minted researcher Noxious. I am unfamiliar with Ramadan as a holiday season and its particular rules, but that's what site human relations are for. So HR handles when you have shifts relating to holidays and things like that. If it is part of our calendar, then HR has got you covered. I do believe Ramadan is handled by HR when it comes to holiday time shifts. Who would win in a fight, SCP-096 or SCP-106, when he looks at his face? So the deal here is, if I remember correctly, what you're dealing with there is 106 is fairly indestructible. However, its offense, it does have acid, which is part of what we use to decommission 096 in the acid machine gun SCP-173 combo attack. The real thing that I think would happen is SCP-106 could simply hide in its pocket dimension, where it would be able to wait out 096's 27-hour panic attack and stop attacking because of that. Now, if it came out, again, 096 might attack it again. Whatever way this would go down, it's far too dangerous to test, so we're not running that test. Sorry. Foundation for life. You're damn right, Intern Schlemmer. You're damn right. SCP made by humans. Intern Analog. There are several anomalies that were made by completely non-anomalous humans who picked up some sort of anomalous knowledge or something like that. You'd also see anomalies made by anomalous individuals, and you also see anomalies that just kind of poofed into existence and we're not sure why. They come in all sorts, all flavors. Intern Jadeha, I am sorry to hear that you're going through some sort of emotional turmoil at this time. Unfortunately, as site director, I would not say I am as good as, say, the on-site therapist to address your issue. What I would do best is find some family or friends or therapist to commiserate with and find a group of support to help you through this situation until time, as they say, heals all wounds. Once you sleep it off a little bit, you may find yourself in a more balanced state in which to move forward. Fingers crossed for you. Do you know who's the bodies in the water? Intern Heathcliff, no, and neither do you. Recognizing the bodies in the water is off limits. Dr. Sherman asked the chat if they saw any dominoes. If so, it was likely 70-47, which every site has a handful of, so they aren't all in the same place. Also, I was trying to get your attention yesterday. A lot of people were trying to get my attention yesterday and during all streams. Just a banner for all members of staff in the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Please do not get frustrated as you all talk to me and I try and answer the questions that I find interesting in the moment. Obviously, I will answer everything that is donated to, because as a gratitude, I will answer your request through a donation. If you really want me to read it, that's the way to guarantee it. Otherwise, I am just bouncing from everyone's chat the best I can. Actually, this is the quietest chat has been in a very long time, so you have a better chance now than ever. And 7047. Don't remember that one off the top of my head. Although you say we have some on site, so I better remember what they are. Dominoes that Foundation, they were other than its ability to absorb ambient kinetic energy, it possesses no physical anomalies. What a weird way to phrase that. I don't like the way the researcher phrased that sentence, quite honestly. SCP-7047 is a large collection of dominoes. Other than its ability to absorb ambient kinetic energy, it possesses no physical anomalies. I guess that's not terrible phrasing. Let me see if there's more. Let me see if this justifies it to me. 7047's anomalous properties occur when a large amount of it is placed in a localized area and is not observed for an indeterminate period of time. Footnote 1, 1 to 5 minute activation. Footnote 2, viewing with a naked eye counts as observation. Video surveillance does not count. 7047 will reposition itself into one or multiple lines. Nearby objects may be repositioned so they are significantly involved with the anomaly's domino effect in some fashion. The chain reaction begins when the first tile tips over. While the endpoint of the chain reaction may change during each activation, it is hypothesized to be dependent on the objects, areas, and individuals present near 7047 during the time. So this is kinetic energy absorbing dominoes that seem to create Rube Goldberg machine domino sets. Is that what I'm assuming here? These had to have been inside the LACKROOMS. Almost all of the containment wings are. So the question simply becomes, how many do we have on site? And therefore, what did they do? Worrying. Chris DJ Gamer, thank you for your first donation as well as your second for a typo clarification, I see. Make sure to grab yourself a street taco on your way past the commissary. SCP-049 grabbed me, but I didn't turn into an undead. I just lit on fire. Why? With the super chat, I meant 049. Okay, clarification received. So, if you didn't turn into an undead, you just lit on fire, my first question is, are you okay? Because if you were lit on fire, I feel like you must be messaging from the medical bay, in a bed, in the burn units. Tell me more about this fire that encompassed your entire body. And maybe I'll be able to understand more about what happened. You missed a whole subplot where I got hit by SCP-4312. I was hanging from 1544 for half the stream, poor Joey. Also read the first video log for 747 for an idea. You are dealing with a lot, aren't you? That is a lot of anomalies happening. All together. You're in your own Rube Goldberg machine. Silly Ghosts, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they will continue to keep it 100 at your urging. And then 7047, Test 1 in the kitchen. Site 14's cafeteria kitchen was temporarily closed. Various food ingredients were placed on the preparation section. 7047 is introduced into the room. Direct observation is interrupted. Result, direct observation recommence. Most tables in the kitchen have been pressed close together. The rest were positioned near an open oven with a baking tray inside. The uncapped can of whipped cream is standing on an air duct above the oven alongside the ingredients. Spice racks near the oven were open with their contents spilled on the floor. The spice racks, air ducts, and tables have SCP-7047 segments running through them. The first tile is knocked over. The domino effect starts with 7047 segments on the tables and continues to the spice rack. The momentum continues up the spice rack and connects to the segments on the air ducts. Small individual segments collide with the ingredients, causing them to fall down, bounce off the tables, and land in the trade. In the trade? Maybe did that mean tray, but it was a typo? A lone tile falls into a nearby fork, causing it to fly in the air and collide with the oven's button interface, activating it. The oven rack automatically slides into the oven, and the door closes. Researchers try to open the oven door, but the door is jammed. After some time, the door is opened, and a thick cloud of smoke spreads out to the kitchen. The food in the tray is burnt, the sound of the fire alarm activates, and the sound waves of the alarm cause the whipped cream to fall off. The nozzle penetrates and embeds itself into the meal, releasing a hefty amount of whipped cream. Well, how wacky. I've seen this happen 2 or 3 times in today's stream, which is more than usual, so let me just toss this out there. In case you are present in today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, we do not mention the character known as Dr. Bright at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. That is because the character known as Dr. Bright was created by an author who has been banned from the community for being an alleged sex pest and pedo. And the character was used and imbued with a lot of those tendencies. Therefore, the SCP community has stopped using that character and is encouraging many people not to do so. If you wish for more information, this is now the SCP-963 page. And you can get some information here. We also have a video on this channel known as The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright. And it explains a summary of the situation with links to deeper evidence. So Heathcliff, as well as whoever it was earlier, this is why we don't talk about Bright here at Site 42. Researcher Froy, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. And Redfail Hawk, thank you for your 5 months as a Level 1 Researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and service. My husky's head shot up at the phrase whipped cream. Does your husky know that word, I guess? Is that a treat for huskies? I am unfamiliar with dog and whipped cream interactions. I guess pup cups exist. Aren't pup cups just whipped cream? No, I think that makes sense. Cool. I wonder if there are any husky SCPs. Shifty eyes. Well, I've never heard of any SCP Husky before. I can't imagine some sort of SCP #1 Doggo-J existing. That's certainly an SCP I've never heard of at all. Intern, that's someone. You're speaking about a Friday Night Funkin' SCP mod that I was recently introduced to because I accidentally retweeted a meme made by the creator of said mod. I just saw them making some statement about Mobile Task Force members dancing, and that gave me an opportunity to bring up SCP-3688, the Safety Dance, and went a little viral on Twitter over it. I only later discovered that they were talking about dancing Mobile Task Force members because it was part of their SCP mod for Friday Night Funkin'. But yes, apparently this is a thing that exists, I discovered. Once again, I don't know if it's any good or not. Explore on your own risk. Orange Cloud, thank you for your 6 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Who melted through the heavy security doors? I don't know. Check the security tapes. Intern Heathcliff. Simply mentioning the phrase is enough for, or the name is enough for desk to desk you. Just keep that in mind. But there are currently two replacements for the character. One named Dr. Lachlan Cairns and another named Dr. Elias Shaw. Made by separate people, they are both immortals, regenerating, so to speak, but with different gimmicks because, once again, speaking on that who shall not be named, and we call them Bruno because of it, the 963 amulet itself was part of the kink, allegedly, and that is why it can't be salvaged. No amulets are involved in future iterations of those regenerating doctors. Hey boss, when will I become more than an intern? Well, first of all, your name on this channel is the unpaid intern. So that seems like it might hurt your chances. You just seem to be identifying as intern. But furthermore, it's very easy to get a promotion here at Site 42. You just got to become a member. Level 1 members are the Level 1 researchers. Level 2 members are the Mobile Task Force captains. Level 3 members are the overseers. And so, it's not that hard. But, you know what? Being an intern at the SCP Foundation ain't so bad. The majority of our followers are interns, and it's just fine. Better to be an intern at the SCP Foundation than to work anywhere else, because where else are you going to get access to the bottle of champagne that makes your party last for as long as the champagne lasts? Meaning, you can party for an entire week, but have it only last one night in real time. Can't argue with that. That's pretty hip. I highly recommend you read SCP-7047 on your own time. It's very engaging. Also, summaries. 4312, every 10 days someone random falls into the sky. 1544, humanoid slinky named Joey who likes to dance. Very awkward. Very awkward situation. For Joey, anyways. I hope you didn't stretch Joey out too much. Let's close that. Nikki Knackle, I can confirm your Ko-Fi did work, even though I missed the notification, so thank you for saying so that I went to go check it. Furthermore, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a whippet of whipped cream on your way past the commissary. Just shake, shake, shake at your own leisure. Hey Doc, I'm here to remind everyone to hydrate. That thing will jump scare you if you are dehydrated. I will not use its number because that is mean. I don't want that thing anywhere near me. I'm hydrated, damn it. Is SCP-096 real? Intern Johan Vance, I want you to know there is no such thing as SCPs in real life. While we are all having a very good time acting, role-playing, playing a game of make-believe about the SCP Foundation, it is just a creative writing community online. Ever since the Slender Man stabbing 10 years ago, it's been considered gauche to pretend to be real online as a horror franchise because we don't want some people thinking that Slender Man told them to stab their friend. Kind of takes the fun out of it. So we drop kayfabe if anyone asks if it's real. It is not real. Also, thank you for saying I am your favorite YouTuber. I appreciate the compliment. We're doing our best. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. 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 Time check. Stephen Tambari, we are currently 66 minutes into today's stream. I said it would be 60 to 90 minutes based on the vibes, and right now the vibes are kind of chill, so I can go another 20, 25 minutes and not be too worried. You guys aren't stressing me out or nothing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do SCP guards and researchers have favorite SCPs, and if so, what's yours? Intern Athena, I am certain that all staff members have their own roster of this is my X, Y, or Z favorite SCP. Now, mine, I always tell you at the end of stream, sort of a tradition around these parts, and since that's in about 23 minutes, if you want to hear my favorite SCPs, all you gotta hang out is for a little bit. But if you want to know now, you could donate and ask again, and if you donated, then I would say so immediately. Or you could cheat, go to yesterday's stream where I said it at the ending. So whichever way you want to hear it, waiting, paying, or cheating, that's up to you. I see a Ko-Fi notification has come in. Let me get that before I lose it. Laddie the Demon Angel, thank you for what I believe is your first donation of today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a strawberry eclair on your way past the commissary. Just to add to my definitely not traumatic LACKROOMS experience, yes, the car disappeared into the wall / the LACKROOMS too. There was a lot of property damage that followed it, like a concerning amount, like almost city level. I'm not sure it's nothing to bring up though. I'm sure it's nothing to bring up, though. Are you talking about Dr. Gerald? Most likely. Are you talking about the destruction that was done to my car? Somewhat likely. Are you talking about the demolition derby that took place with the different cars and the D-Class that confiscated them? Also possible. Which cars are you speaking of? Sheeny, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi again to say. Quick end of stream song request, if you know it and feel like doing so, of course. Halsey Gasoline. Up to you, of course. I've just had on repeat and hearing your version will be a joy. Thanks for all you do, Dr. Sherman. Well, thank you very much, Sheeny. I don't know Gasoline off the top of my head, but since you donated for the request, I will do the normal song that I have today lined up for the end of stream, but then I'll have to look up Halsey Gasoline. Let me add that to a list that I can find here. And I'll put it where I'll see it before there. Checked. Locked and loaded. All right, bouncing back to chat. Desk, thank you for putting 5 promotions on today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. For those of you who got promoted, that would be Researcher the Legend, Researcher Foxbones, Researcher Midbee, Researcher Ahen, and Researcher GC Gray. If you are currently in the stream, make sure to thank Desk for their generosity. Thank you, Desk, for the promotions. The army of the green name grows! As someone who's broke as hell, I can confirm I will remain an intern until someone gifts me a membership. Eternal Sugar, remember, even broke gang is appreciated because we need the people who can directly donate, of course, but we also need the engagement crew. When you put in the work to like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just on our streams, but on the streams and projects of people we support in the SCP community, the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, the game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, animators, podcasters, everything like that, you are helping to get more eyes on that project. That engagement helps the algorithm. It helps them find more engagement people and more money people. And so we need both sides of the coin, otherwise we don't succeed. And that's what Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters, is all about. So we thank you for your service. Anyways. Intern Vance, 6'7" doesn't mean anything. That's the whole point of the meme. Just like when people my age were yelling, "Butt scratcher!" Same shit, different generation. Now, it bothers me less and less as time goes on, but it does bother Desk a lot more than me. Thank you. Oh, and I'm not a girl. Okay, Intern Schlemmer. I'm sorry if I referred to you as one. I think I might have saw Liz Schlemmer and got confused instead of Linz. But either way, Intern Schlemmer, keep up the good work. How do we back the SCP anime? Well, the most efficient way of backing the SCP anime would be going to SCP Galleonic on Kickstarter. If you go to the SCP Galleonic Kickstarter, then there's all sorts of membership tiers for different prizes you can get for different amounts of donations. And of course, there's the sick trailer that you've made me decide I want to watch real quick.
So, your choice. What will it be?
Ooh, the horror. Blood in on the floor inside. The scientists don't care 'cause they're jaded. Pretty lights, but what do they hide? Bodies in the cafeteria. Things are bad, but can they get better? Maybe if we work together, we can fly and grow and run and not die.
To what little I have.
Blood. So, yes. Go to the Kickstarter for SCP Galleonic. If you can't find it, you can always go into the Site42 support beacon, beacons.ai/Site42. Besides our own social links, we also link currently running SCP Kickstarters. That way you know to check there if there is something going down. Reminder, since we talked about it earlier, if you go to the Afray Interactive YouTube channel or the Afray Interactive Discord, this is the creators of SCP-5K, the game, they are interviewing SOM Studios this Saturday. And so there will be Q&A with the Afray Interactive crew as well as with SOM Studios and questions from you guys. Also, if you're here on Monday at, I believe, 12 or 1 p.m. California time, I think it's 1. Let me check my DMs. Looking for the time of day on March 9th. It's a Monday. On March 9th, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. here. At 2 p.m. March 9th, we are going to have a stream with SOM Studios. They're coming to Site 42, so you'll get to ask your questions directly through here as well. These are all ways that you can help signal boost SOM Studios and SCP Gallionic, aka SCP the Anime. Researcher Delta, thank you for subscribing as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and your service. What time zone? This is very important. Monday the 9th, 2 p.m. California time. That is the Site 42 SOM Studios dual stream. On March 7th, Saturday, at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is when they are going live with Afray Studios. Did we figure out how the bullet affected the modified SRA? Because my theory is that the bullet hole caused some sort of effect to liminalize the area around the Liminalator. So, 369 Destroyer, no one has been able to tell me what the bullet did to that altered SRA that caused a rainbow flash as well as the destruction of the effect of the Liminalator. No one has filled me in on the deets about that yet. Was someone just shooting the Liminalator? No, just Pit. What had happened was a nearby guard near the Liminalator happened to be trying to capture SCP-008-J, but the flying head that was attached to SCP-035, the mask, was hit by a baseball bat that was actually intern Charger by Philip November. And so Philip November used Charger to knock the head off of the host of SCP-035, which flew into the air, hit the Mobile Task Force member trying to capture Jeff in the head, which caused the Mobile Task Force member to misfire their gun, and that is when the SRA was struck. Oh, I remember the bullet freed the reality bender from the SRA. Can't say I saw what happened after. Dr. Frogman. But, aren't the Scranton reality anchors use dead reality benders? Desk, do you have any intel, maybe from Dr. Clef, about the bodies within the Scranton reality anchors being able to regenerate if something goes wrong with the reality anchor? It might have been a corpse, you say, Dr. Frogman. Yes, but how does the bullet, the rainbow light, the corpse of the reality bender, this is a confusing scenario. I don't know. Lily came back from the dead in 1. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm horrified. Intern YR and intern Nix, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Sometimes they are still alive. Eternal Sugar, are you serious right now? I've known that Scranton reality anchors incorporate the corpse of a dead reality bender as part of their function, making them a very rare and expensive piece of tech. But where are you getting intel that some of them are not dead? I would love this intel, if you can tell me where you found it. Lily, whatever Clef's last name is. At the end of 4231, it was suggested that Clef's reality-bending wife was regaining, I think you mean consciousness, in an SRA? Yeesh. Yeesh. Could the Humes have been hit just right by the bullet and it made a sonic rain boom which switched off the Liminalator? Oh no. Oh no, I just figured it out. Oh, it makes so much sense. The reality bender inside that Scranton reality anchor was from Equestria. That's why shooting the anchor released a rainbow blast. It's the only thing that makes sense. Let me go over to the document. At this time, the misfired bullet struck the altered SRA in the compartment containing the reality bender component, which happened to be a member of the species of equine entity hailing from the alternate universe of Equestria, causing a flash of rainbow light. Now, the question is, how did that rainbow light affect the Liminalator? Or anybody nearby that might have then affected the Liminalator? That explains the rainbow light, at least. Returning to chat. Mobile Task Force Captain Delta, thank you for making the effort to upgrade your membership to a level 2 membership during the same stream you upgraded to level 1 membership. We appreciate your dedication to securing, containing, and protecting on behalf of us here at Site 42. Oh, tomorrow is Fan Art Friday. I almost forgot. I spent the entirety of yesterday continually thinking it was Thursday. I was so confused the entire day. I don't know why, but I was like, Fan Art Friday's tomorrow. Fan Art Friday's tomorrow. And it wasn't. It was not tomorrow because tomorrow was today, which was not Friday. Time check. Tiger Claws. We are currently 6 minutes from the end of stream. We are coming up on that coffee break endpoint. We should make fan art of the LACKROOMS experiences for fan art. I mean, it is tomorrow, so your time is limited, but if you can get it in, some of these chaotic scenes would certainly make some interesting art, to be sure. I wonder how Dr. Gerald and the sudden demolition derby have any involvement with this. I do wonder if people were driving around in insane demolition derby fashion, with Dr. Gerald around especially, I would imagine that a bright flash of rainbow light would blind them and cause some sort of havoc, unintentionally. Or perhaps, because it was from an equestrian entity, it had some effect on their vehicles that caused X, Y, or Z to happen. I mean, I can only guess from the outside. You guys were actually in the LACKROOMS. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. So you guys have to tell me what happened. That damn animated beardless Clef was sent in for Fan Art Friday. Lol, how the fuck did I forget the beard? Oh, you sent a twink Clef. You sent a twink Clef. Very, very popular on Twitter. For some reason, just a lot of people like to draw that haggard, angry man as a twink. It's just the internet's love for pretty boys. They just do it. You can't stop them. Every boy will be pretty. The internet says so. Nikki Knackle, I see your Ko-Fi here. It got lost in the shuffle. Thank you for donating again. Can we get a dad joke? I have a speech to deliver tomorrow on a certain tree that won't scream and need a starting point to create my own. Many staff members have asserted that my obsession with SCP-4521 screaming is too much, that I should leave the entity alone. But I promise you, if I pine needle that thing enough, it will bark. Desk would also like to grace you with a dad joke from the back channels. I was gonna make a dad joke about the procrastination rock. That's it. That's the end of the joke. Dr. Sherman, from what I recall, the reality bender was really weak after it came out of the SRA, so a D-Class ate them. A D-Class ate the entity? Before turning into a horse. I might be wrong, I was a little out of it after the fall. I mean, I guess they were in the LACKROOMS for a couple days. The D-Class could have been hungry enough to eat a horse. I wouldn't doubt it. When the equine reality bender weekly emerged from the SRA, a nearby D-Class, parentheses, who claimed to be hungry enough to eat a horse, ate the entity alive, after which the D class turned into a horse itself. What a crazy random happenstance. It turned into a horse, not a reality bender. No, I assumed it turned into a horse, yes. I mean, I know that the altered SRA was attached to the Liminalator. I mean, by cables at the very least. But now that this horse is next to the technology, I mean, you don't want to let a horse next to a hospital, into a hospital. Things get very chaotic very quickly if you let the horse in the hospital. So near that advanced equipment, I can't imagine having a horse that was not a horse just a moment ago went smoothly. Oh, hello, Puppy of Interest 42. I guess one more visit before the end of stream is not unwarranted. Come say hello before the outro.
Charlemagne also petitioned to open the door, but as soon as she came in, he ran away.
Of course he did. Agent Charlemagne is very camera shy. Yes, that is my mouth. Thank you, Puppy of Interest 42.
Which is weird for how loud he is. He takes after you. You would think he would love the camera. Come on.
All right. So I don't think we get the entire story of what happened within the LACKROOMS, but you know, in this chaos, I'm not expecting every detail to be fully remembered. I'm just glad that you guys are out of there okay. I will, again, take what we updated to the after-action report of the LACKROOMS, and I will place it inside the Site42 Discord server in the Site42 canon. I will edit the previous message and update it with the new facts that have been added. From there, it's up to you to draw your own conclusions or fill in the gaps in the story so that we have a better understanding of what happened in there. But we are at the end of stream, everyone. And as we are at the end of stream, we have a tradition around here. I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be narcissism. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs that I wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you are on my author page, one tab over, you'll see a list of links. Links that the SCP Foundation wants you to find, that people keep asking about, but then they're not clever enough to find them. It's really sad and frustrating. But I wouldn't be sad and frustrated at you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, because you always find those links. And while you find those links, you can become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we appreciate your direct donations. They are the quickest way to help us keep the lights on for myself and the Site 42 staff. On top of which, if you guys are broke, gang, and you can't afford to donate, do not fret. We understand starving artists very well here at Site 42. So if you are part of the broke gang, you can still help us by being an intrepid member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just for us, but for the SCP projects we support, then you are helping us to get more eyes on them, more engagement, more algorithmic love, and more people with money to find them and donate. And so you are helping the ecosystem of SCP to get bigger and better SCP games, films. You're helping SCP authors want to make more work, the artists make more work and get more commissions, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, all of it. We get more and more because of your help, because of your intrepid service. So we thank you, Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename Signal Boosters, for your assistance. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. So, Site 42 staff, there's been another Dr. Sherman's Coffee Break, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. I was just the age of 16 when I first went on the drive. After 6 months hard labor, at home I did arrive. I courted with a pretty girl, 'twas her caused me to roam. Now I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. I'll eat when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. Get drunk whenever I'm ready, get sober by and by. And if this river don't drown me, this town I'll mean to roam. For I am a river driver and I'm far away from home. The credit song is River Driver by Great Big Sea. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream.